All right, this is your boy Solo Traveler here, giving you guys some information about the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo, where can I start? Um, well, one of the main reasons why I'm making this video is so that I could educate people who are first-time travelers to this country, to the city, to know what to expect while you're actually here. Um, with the city, Santo Domingo, this was actually the first city I ever visited alone on a solo trip, and I could definitely tell you it was a great time. I definitely enjoy myself here. This is a great place to visit. It's very beautiful. The people are great. You'll find some great people here. You know, if you walk around and talk to a couple people. One thing I definitely want to say with Santo Domingo, you definitely need to know Spanish. That is a must. To definitely understand the people, the culture, and everything, you gotta know the language. That is one of the biggest, I would say, biggest issues or biggest problems Americans find when they actually come to Santo Domingo because most Americans expect that this is another country, island country that they can speak English fluently, and no, it doesn't work out that way. Not in Santo Domingo. Perhaps if you go to Puerto Plata, Sasua, if you go up north of the island, of this country, that's when you'll definitely hear a lot of people who can speak English. But in Santo Domingo, it's not like that. Just a couple points I want to say about Santo Domingo is the fact that, of course, this was the first colonized Western city. So, this is where Christopher Columbus actually set sail and actually found while he was out, searching, trying to get to India. So this was the first colonized city, and you'll see there's so much history here in this city. Of course, that Dominican Republic or Republica Dominicana is right next to Haiti. That's one of the things that you'll know about this island, that there is two countries on one island. And one thing I also want to add about this country is that while I'm actually visiting this country, I've been here multiple times, especially to the city. And one of the things that I could definitely say is that my cell coverage, I used to have Sprint. And whenever I would come to Santo Domingo, my coverage was actually pretty good with my phone. Of course, you use their cell providers that's there. I believe they use Claro as well as there's some other ones. I can't think of them off the top of my head right currently, but I believe it's like three other. Digicel is one of the other major ones, but it's like two other ones that are actually on the island that they provide cell phone services. So then move on to the next slide and to continue on the conversation. So, like I said before, Santo Domingo, a lot of culture here. Like I said before, you definitely need to know Spanish. Spanish is a must here in Santo Domingo. One thing that you definitely see is that there's a mural of KRS-One in the back. One day while I was driving on Venezuela Road, or I think it was Washington Boulevard. Sorry, it's one of the two. It's right off the lake, or right off the ocean. That road, and you see a whole bunch of murals just on the wall. And one of those that I just noticed was KRS-One. For those of you who love hip hop, you know that this is one of the pioneers of hip hop, who actually forged and made hip hop to be what it is. So you definitely see a lot of American, touch on this within this actual country. Like a lot of people, they listen to hip hop. You'll see, if you go to a couple clubs, they'll play some hip hop here and there, whatever. So they're not a stranger to a lot of American culture. One thing I also want to say here with Santo Domingo, or just being in the tourist area, is that nothing's ever free. One thing that you want to look out for is that if you're walking on the street and you're trying to locate something, or if you ask someone a question, and this is only if you're in the tourist area, that basically if someone helps you, they're expecting a tip. That's point blank. So you got to be ready to give out tips and things like that. Most of the times, I don't give out tips. That's because I avoid people, regular people in the actual tourist area. So, but there is times that even when you're out of the tourist area, and if you have a car, people will like you'll have people who will tell you, "Hey, come park here, whatever. I'll watch your car," and they'll ask for a tip once you're actually done, doing what you're doing. So you actually get things like that. Um, but one thing I'll say is that with this location with Santo Domingo, um, if you actually rent a car, be very careful. Make sure you get the insurance because people here drive crazy. Like when I say crazy, I don't even think people stop at. Well, actually, people really don't stop at stop signs. They just slowly roll over the stop sign just to see if someone else is at the actual intersection. They just keep on rolling. Um, I'm surprised they don't have a lot of accidents on a daily basis because the way that they drive, it is just crazy. If you want to save money, Uber is available here in Santo Domingo. That's one thing I definitely would say. You can use Uber, here, matter of fact, let me give you a story with Uber. Since this is an island, and they usually play the I'm begging, I need money, give me money, whatever. So there was one situation, my first time using Uber with this country, because usually whenever I come to Santo Domingo, I usually rent a car. But this time, due to my license situation of where I stay at, I actually didn't have my license expired because I was waiting for my new license to come in the mail. So this time when I got here, I'm like, okay, well let me utilize Uber and see how it is. So the first person who actually picked up my request to be picked up, he was trying to ask me for if I could pay in cash instead of through the app. I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. So we were actually at a stalemate for like 5-10 minutes until he finally gave up, and I'm just like, you know what? I just want another person. I don't want to, I don't feel comfortable giving you cash because more than likely I'm going to get charged double with Uber because Uber already has my information. So that definitely doesn't make sense. You want to be careful for, those little small little cons, things like that, that might happen. Another thing, when you actually exit out of the airport, you want to make sure you know the price of taxi from the airport from Las Americas to actual Zona Colon because they will get you. You know, I believe that the price range should cost no more than $30. $30 to actually get from the airport to Zona Colon. They will try to jip you and tell you no, it's $80 or $60, whatever. You got to make sure you let them know that you're not going to pay no more than 20, 25, or $30, something around that range. Also, another thing I want to say about the culture, which I find to be very interesting, is on Friday nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like in the neighborhoods, Dominicans, they love their dominoes. So if you're ever driving through neighborhoods, on every corner you'll see some type of domino table being set up. And you gotta make sure you be careful that you don't run into anyone because they will be out there on the street, getting in and enjoying themselves playing dominoes. Um, Here's an actual picture of Zona Cologne. Zona Cologne is the actual tourist area of Santo Domingo. This is where you'll find like the old city. A lot of things goes on here. You'll catch a lot of old historical buildings. You see a lot of tours. This is so much going on here in Santo Domingo, um, and in this actual Zona Cologne. And a lot of things that goes on is that you'll see presentations. You'll be in this little park area where where people will be performing. There's a church over here, so and that's actually like a street walk that you see the kids walking down. Actually, when this picture was actually taken, they were having I think it was a holiday or so. So they were celebrating. All the kids were celebrating this national holiday that they had, and it was actually pretty cool. And one thing that I like about Santo Domingo or just Republica Dominicana is the fact that there's always music, there is always live. Everything's always live. You're always enjoying yourself. Although times are hard, they still know how to party. They know how to have a good time, and that's very important. To have that type of spirit. Although at times things are not the way that you want it to be. One thing I'm gonna say is that being here at a money exchange, it's a little different. I mean, the money exchange is actually pretty good. It's a little different from some of the other countries that I've been to. So basically, for $1, it's like 43 pesos. So for me, the way I look at it is roughly, well, at the time right now, it's $1 for every 43 pesos. But roughly, when I look at it as $20 is about 1 mil pesos. Or $10 is about 50 mil pesos. So I take that back. Sorry, not saying that it's not saying that 1 mil is $20 while 500 pesos is $10. Excuse me for that. And that's basically how I gauge the whole fact of how the money exchange is and the value of the money and so forth. Here, this is actually a video from one of the times that I went. I believe this was the first time I was here, and I believe the president, Danilo Medina, he was up for re-election, and he was just going around, having a good time, just trying to promote the fact that, hey, come vote for me. So he was throwing out a couple things, they have live music, and it was just like a parade that was going on for him, for people to vote for him. I thought it was actually pretty cool. So right outside of Zona Colon is actual another tourist location. Right outside of Zona Colon is this monument called the Lighthouse Monument for famous explorer, which is Faro a Colon, which is Columbus Lighthouse. So I actually thought it was pretty cool. That's why I actually had to take a picture of this. At nighttime, they actually have lights at the top of the actual building going out, and as you're driving, you can actually see it from far away. I didn't get a chance to actually explore it inside the actual lighthouse because at the time when I went, it was closed due to, I'm not sure, maybe construction or what. But it was a weekend when I went to go take a look at it, and usually how it is in Latin America, and a lot of things are closed on the weekend or they have restricted time. So, of course, people they like to spend time with their family, so they allow that time. So that's just one of the things that when I go back, I probably want to go in there and take a look, do a little more touristy stuff, and just enjoy what's there outside of the city. And here's another nice picture actually taken. This is actually the Plaza de la Bandera. So this is their flags that they have. It's a whole area of just their flags, and I kind of like that the artistic thing that they have. They kind of remind me of St. Louis. So there is a lot of things that's actually written there. I believe it's a memorial as well. Um, but I just thought that it was actually pretty cool to take a look at this actual construction that they had. And this is the funny thing is this is like right next to downtown. Um, Downtown is a whole different vibe. It's pretty interesting how downtown is. Downtown Santo Domingo. You would think that Zona Colona was downtown, but until you actually spend time going around the city and seeing everything, you'll actually notice that downtown is downtown. The streets are really nice, because basically around Zona Cologne, the streets are pretty bad, But once you get over here, you're like, okay, you could tell this is a financial district, and a lot of cars, a lot of things that are actually going on in this area. So with this picture, I actually wanted to, just show how how nice the city is, how nice downtown is, how the architect is, because you can tell that they are actually just about the same level as America. You know, whatever you see in Zona Cologne, it's just like it's all old fashioned. It is all historical. But once you get to the downtown area, you start seeing the up to date, infrastructures and things like that. So I thought that this was actually pretty cool. Um, like I was saying, with downtown, there's no broken roads. Everything is really nice. And one thing I also want to add while you're driving around the city is the fact that there's actually three main malls that people go to. That's here in the city. It's Agora Mall, Blue Mall, and Sambia Mall. Like these malls are very popular. Something about malls and Dominicanas that it's like they love this. Like they do everything in the mall. You can see birthday parties. You just see like just everything. People just go there just to hang out. It's like it's always packed at the mall. That's one thing I've definitely noticed. Every time I come to this country, every time I come to the city and just maneuver around and do things and see people, I see a lot of people are actually at the mall. So I wanted to show some more of the infrastructure that they have. On my way to, I believe, Agora Mall, this is one of the intersections that you actually will encounter. And just looking at this bridge, how they've constructed it and everything, it's just like, just pretty cool. There's I mean, I just couldn't stop myself from just taking a picture of this because, I don't even see this in America, or a lot of places I've been to. And I've been to a lot of cities, in America, and I just didn't see anything. I've never seen anything like this. But one thing I want to say, traffic is very very bad here in Santo Domingo. You could just to go like 5 miles, you're gonna be in traffic forever because most of the streets, since you know that this is an old city, so there's a lot of two lanes on the street. So basically, you only have 4 lanes, and there's just so much congestion. Congestion. You have, cars, motorcycles, public buses, private buses. You have everything taxi, so everything you could think of. So like I said, you got to deal with traffic, especially in a rush hour. And one thing I want to say is that taxis, they create the most traffic because if you're sitting behind a taxi, he will stop at any moment, try to pick anybody up. The taxis are always driving very slow, and it's just it makes the experience very, very horrible because of the fact that if you got somewhere you're trying to get to, is those taxis they create the traffic. And here's another picture. I wanted to show you guys a picture of the private bus. What's interesting is that this bus will drive around the whole city and just picking people up. People just hop on and hop off. During rush hour, it is very interesting to see how this whole operation works. I'm just like, I'm just surprised how this actually works out because they don't have a specific. I don't think they even have a specific route. So I've never ridden in one of these because I just don't want to find out that I'm going somewhere where I don't want to be at. So, they have these buses or private buses which are a lot cheaper than the public buses. So people actually utilize these. I guess the more poorer people actually jump onto these instead of taking the private transportation. I wanted to show off some of the foods that they eat and some of the things that I definitely love about being here in Santo Domingo. Like for example, this fruit bowl. Funny thing is, I was actually dating a Dominican girl, woman one time, and when I came to her house, and I told her that I love fruit. That's one of the things that I like every time I leave the country of America is tasting fruits from other countries. And fruits from other countries are taste a lot different because it's very natural. You don't have pesticides and other things on it. So it's like we every time I eat their food, I feel a lot better. I have more energy. I just feel great every time I eat food from there. So this was just a plate that I wanted to, take a picture of just to show off, the foods that they eat, how it is, and how it gets prepared. And I think that being at the island every time I ate there, every time I left, I felt a lot better. And here's another tasty treat that I would actually eat whenever I'm there. I would eat some grilled chicken. The grilled chicken there is great. When I say great, it is great. You know, I usually get grilled chicken, probably with some rice, or those with the kidney beans, or with something else. You can see at this time I actually had some absolute with the meal. So, but this meal is actually pretty good. That's one thing I definitely say here, that their foods are pretty good. Of course, one of the main dishes that they eat is mofongo. Mofongo is definitely good there. They pride themselves with that food. Next up, I want to express the fact of their seafood. One thing that that you're gonna experience while you're there is they actually will catch the fish, and this is how they actually prepare. This is actually how they will feed you the fish. You will always get the head and the tail. I'm not a seafood person. That's not something I like. But every time I've actually went with other people, they've actually always gotten fish, and they say they've actually enjoyed it. Eating the fish. But usually, they have the fish. It might come with some rice, or you see those chips. Plantain chips that's actually back there. So they'll usually eat. That's usually like the dish that they'll eat. Typically, when this dish was prepared for us, we were actually at the beach. So if you're at the beach, you're gonna mostly see fish that's there. They'll always sell fish, live fish, and they'll fry it for you right there. You get to see them fry it, and then when it's ready, you just come and get it, and everything is good. Another thing, whenever you go to Dominican Republic, Presidente, that is their official beer. One thing I'm gonna say is that you will always find someone drinking Presidente. They love the Presidente. It is extremely popular. One thing I can say that this is extremely popular, that I even saw this beer when I went to go visit Aruba. It was actually there in Aruba, and I think they actually had a warehouse there. And one thing I noticed, that there was a lot of Dominicanas out in Aruba, which I thought that was kind of interesting. But nonetheless, Presidente, this is their beer. It tastes pretty good. You definitely will enjoy it. I would suggest go ahead and get your Presidente. If you go visit Santo Domingo or just Dominican Republic in general. This will be everywhere. Also, I wanted to add, right outside of Santo Domingo is this park, is a zipline park. This is an actual great park to have fun. It's very inexpensive. I actually went here one time with my father, and we had a great time. It was actually pretty good. This was actually my first ever time actually doing zip lining. And I can tell you, I'll definitely go back. The only thing about it is that this place is pretty far out, so you definitely need a car. I believe we actually had to pay 2 tolls on our way getting to this actual zipline park. So, if you do have a car, or if you want to pay Uber or something like that, I'll say, hey, go to the zipline park. I believe it's about 45 minutes to an hour right outside of Santo Domingo, and you would definitely enjoy this. They have other things here. Not only do they have ziplining, they also have paintballing. They have, if I can remember, they have other things, maybe swimming. They have a little lake or so. But this was an actual great activity. So you can see how it was actually pretty safe. You'll see someone actually coming close to us, um, a little bit. Yeah, like I say, they have like several courses with this. I believe we went to like 6 or 7 different, I would say zip sections or so. And in between, you're actually getting to each section. You gotta go through an obstacle course or something like that just to get there. So it was actually pretty cool. One of the other things that you gotta see when you're in Santo Domingo, you definitely you have to go to Boca Chica. Boca Chica is actually near the airport. So this is actually where the beach is at, and you will enjoy it. Boca Chica is very beautiful. It's kind of like its own little town that they have there. Just like Santo Domingo, Boca Chica is like a small little suburb right outside of Santo Domingo, and you'll go there. The water is usually warm. They have activities for you to do in the water. They have the long banana boat, or it's kind of like a float or so that you can actually get on. Um, the atmosphere there is actually pretty cool. It is nice. You can be there all day long and just enjoy yourself. Here there's a lot of seafood. There's also a lot of restaurants as well. I'm not sure if you ever been to Puerto Plata or if you've been to Sasua. Sasua is like they have like these restaurants off the beach. It's the same thing here. They have restaurants off the beach. And it's like small little. Well, I wouldn't say small little restaurants, but these are actual nice restaurants you can actually sit down at and eat and just enjoy yourself. This is probably I would say like my second favorite beach to go to. To at least go out and enjoy myself. All in all, man, this is Santo Domingo. One thing I'll say is that you will definitely enjoy yourself. There was a lot of culture here. There is a lot to see, a lot of historical things to see. So I didn't touch on every historical aspect of Santo Domingo. I just wanted to give you guys just a quick little feel of, how it is to be, how it is being here, what to look out for, and you definitely will enjoy yourself here. You definitely want to just jump in there and just check it out. If this is your first time traveling alone, just go for it. Enjoy yourself. Just make sure you prep yourself with Spanish. Just know enough to get you by, and then while you're here, you'll definitely will. Things will actually start working out for you. One thing I'll say is that Dominican Spanish is a little different. They speak it a lot faster, more than a lot faster than the other Latin countries, and of course they have their own type of slang. But as long as you get the gist of Spanish, you'll be able to, maneuver your way around. If you have a car, things are pretty good. You wouldn't have any issues. You can use Uber. Uber is good. Your cell connection is pretty good. So, you have nothing to fear. It's just like as if you're in America in a sense. Just make sure that when you do use your cell phone that you let your cell phone provider know that you're traveling, or at least get that actual, international package so that you can use it. Use your cell phone while you're out and about. But hopefully you actually enjoyed this little presentation of Santo Domingo. Hopefully you actually could go out there and enjoy yourself, and you'll have your own stories regarding you being there in Santo Domingo. This is one place that I definitely continue traveling. This place holds a place in my heart because, like I said, this was the first place I actually went to go visit on my own. And it actually left an everlasting impression on me. So, hey, enjoy yourself. Thanks for checking out this video. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe to me. I have other videos of all my trips. I've been to a couple other places as well. I usually travel roughly about every 2-3 weeks or so. So I usually go check out another new location, or I have a couple repeaters, a couple countries I go to a lot, just because I kind of enjoy being there. But I'll start uploading more videos just for folks to check it out and get a gist of how the country is.